Hi, Joanie Wexler here, Enterprise Mobile Hub Community Manager, and I'm chatting with Michael Finneran. He's the president of dBrn Associates and a mobility analyst, well known in the industry. And Michael and I both attended Interop last week in New York, and I wanted to get Michael's insights on some of the trends and interesting things he saw to share with you. Michael, I think you might have seen like 4 major themes going around. Could you tell us what they are, and then we can talk about them a little bit?
Sure thing. It was nice seeing you, Joanie. Well, first is the expanding universe of MDM, or now officially Enterprise Mobility Management. So we've moved on an acronym. We're now EMM. Last year, the big talk was Mobile Applications Management, having app stores essentially built into the MDM platform. The big area expansion I was seeing this year, and both AirWatch and FiberLink were there and talking this up, was mobile content management. One of the key steps in preventing DLP, data loss prevention. So that was an interesting theme there, and certainly still growing. Though right now the estimates are that only about 40% of organizations have invested in the MDM platform, but from all indications, the business is booming for those guys.
How would you define mobile content management for people who are trying to dig through all the acronyms?
Well, basically, it is allowing you to mark. Well, it's essentially an extension of the sandbox or container concept on the mobile device, but it allows you to mark documents and define how they can be handled by different employees, whether they can be printed. Generally, we'll have a provision that they cannot be forwarded out of the sandbox, but in some cases, we can also specify that they need to be stored on the device. So it gives you much more control over the data that people are exposing now on their smartphones and tablets. Okay,
thanks for that. And were there a few other observations you wanted to share?
Well, a couple of nifty ideas. An old acquaintance of mine, Galen Grumman, who handles mobility topics for InfoWorld, gave an interesting talk on the future of the smartphone. But he had a real interesting concept, which is the smartphone becoming basically the hub of our mobile life. So, of course, there's been a lot of talk, and of course now a product launch for the smartwatch from Samsung. And, of course, much talk about an Apple smartwatch. But other things, we have activity monitors like the Up from Jawbone or Fuel Band from Nike. Also, for many of us, our smartphones are now becoming our hotspots, so we can share with our laptops. But he wasn't as positive on Google Glass. I tend to agree with him. I think the viewing glasses are going to be more of a task-specific type of thing, rather than something people will be wearing all day long. But certainly, there's a lot going on the smartphone front.
So, Michael, on that front, do you think that smartphone as hub, for example, coordinating, being the jumping off place into the WAN, so to speak, could mean a resurgence for Bluetooth applications?
Oh, absolutely. All these things are actually it's BLE, Bluetooth Low Energy. So the peripheral devices here, like smartwatches and the like, will be using Bluetooth Low Energy, which means you might not have to charge them again for several days. So it's but numerous Bluetooth Low Energy devices all simultaneously connected to your smartphone.
Excellent.
The other big topic was 802.11ac. Most of the vendors are now rolling out their first 802.11ac access points, and the ones who are being honest with us are cautioning that enterprises don't dive into this right now. If you have places that are dense and do require the type of capacity AC can deliver, buy a few and put them there. Reason is that we're still on wave 1 of 802.11ac, and one of the most important features we expect to see from it doesn't come until wave 2, which is multi-user MIMO. Of course, we use MIMO in 802.11n and also in AC. The idea with multi-user MIMO is on the downstream side. That is from the access point out to the device. We will be able to send to, I think it's up to 4 devices simultaneously. So in essence, allowing multiple transactions to be carried from simultaneously from the access point. that's going to be a big boost in efficiency. So 802.11ac is here, but use it cautiously at this stage of the game.
And the multi-user MIMO capabilities, are those due out next year in products? Do you know?
Yes, that's what they're saying is Wave 2 is sometime around mid-2014.
Okay.
Of course, the other reason to be cautioned about buying today is it will be a hardware upgrade. So it's,
yes.
Any access points you're buying with AC today could very well be in the trash bin next year.
Okay.
Of course, it also requires an upgrade at the client end, so it takes two to tango. But we do expect to see that coming about mid-2014. Of course, the other session I really enjoyed, because I read a number of blogs by this fellow, Justin Castillo from LB3,
sure,
who makes his living helping large users negotiate contracts, both for wired and wireless services, but generally the most challenging of those are on the wireless front. And he gave a great 1-hour session on what to look for, traps, trends that they're seeing, and also made the ironic comment, one I've heard before, that the carriers are probably laughing their way to the bank with BYOD. Because now users will still be using their smartphones just as much, only now they'll be, since they're on an individual plan rather than a corporate negotiated plan, they'll be paying a higher rate. So the carriers could turn out to be the big winners in BYOD. Go figure.
No kidding. That's a good observation. Hey, listen, Michael, it's been enlightening chatting with you. I'm so glad we ran into each other at the show, and we look forward to hearing from you more and more as time goes on.
You bet. Good talking to you, Joanie.
Take care. Bye-bye.